Chapter 26. Dark Past, Bright Future. Before the title, the fell, cast its long shadow. Before he shattered kingdoms and wielded annihilation in his palm, Ragnar was just a boy. Orphaned by flame and steel, Ragnar's earliest memory was the sound of his mother's scream as fire consumed their village during the First Great War. He remembered clinging to her lifeless hand, tiny, trembling fingers too weak to save her. His father, a soldier, was never found. Just ash and bones where the last line had fallen. Left to the winds of war, Ragnar was tossed into an orphanage in the ruined outskirts of Lyria. It wasn't a home. It was a hell. There was no warmth in that place, just cold porridge, colder floors, and the coldest hearts imaginable. The caretakers, if they could be called that, abused the children. Beatings, starvation, isolation. Ragnar, being larger and quieter than most, became the perfect target. Day after day, he endured. Night after night, he wondered if it was better to just let go. Until one stormy night, when the beatings left him half-conscious in the mud, his vision flickering between life and death. A voice echoed in his mind.
"Do you wish to live?
He blinked through blood and rain.
Do you want power?"
And then he saw it. A knight, towering, cloaked in obsidian steel, eyes glowing like dying stars.
"Then rise. I am Logar, the Dark Knight, your spirit, your sword, your salvation."
With a scream of agony and rebirth, Ragnar stood. Years passed. He became one of the Seven Chosen, a hero whose strength rivaled the heavens. Alongside other champions, Ragnar carved a path through monsters, demons, and tyrants. He was a legend, but legend is only half the truth. During the siege of Noxthara, Ragnar faced what none had. Antares, the dark god of the void. The battle shook the world, but Ragnar fought like a man possessed. And it was in that battle that everything changed. Antares whispered to him amidst the clash.
"All your life you've been used, tossed aside, beaten, forgotten. I offer you freedom, not as a tool of fate, but as its destroyer."
Logar tried to resist. The spirit howled within him, fighting the infection, the seed of corruption. But Ragnar, deep in his heart, had always held one thing: rage. And Antares fed it. In one final scream of defiance, Ragnar gave in. Ragnar the Chosen died that day. From his ashes rose Ragnar the Fell, a being of power so terrible, even the other Chosen feared to speak his name. His armor blackened, his eyes lost their light, and Logar was no more, either twisted or slain, no one knows. He was no longer a man. He was vengeance, incarnate. Now, years later, standing before the Seven Chosen of a new generation, Ragnar gazed at them with a face void of warmth, not because he hated them, but because, in them, he saw what he once had been, and what he could never be again. But far above the battlefield, Keto watched silently. The absolute being narrowed his gaze, his fingers wrapped around the hourglass of fate.
"He has fallen far," Keto whispered.
But where there is darkness, there still lies the faintest hope of light. And somewhere deep, very deep, within Ragnar's corrupted soul. Logar stirred. Even the fell had a flicker left. Back on the battlefield, the world trembled beneath Ragnar's ascended form. His black armor pulsed like a dying star, each breath he took distorting the air, cracking the ground beneath him. His corrupted eyes, once the proud gaze of a chosen, now glowed with void fire. The seven stood before him, their bodies bruised, armor cracked, but their spirits ablaze. Koga stepped forward, her voice firm but urgent.
Ragnar was one of the strongest of the original seven, but that power came at a cost. He was corrupted, swallowed by Antari's darkness.
Izashi clenched his fists, lightning dancing between his knuckles.
So he's just gone then?
No, Koga interrupted, hope glinting in her voice. Thanks to the damage you all inflicted, the hold Antares has on his soul is weakening. He's teetering on the edge. We can bring him back.
Lancelot stepped beside her, arms crossed, his gleaming silver armor reflecting the broken sky.
But understand this. Even if we save him, Logar, his spirit, is gone. Torn apart or too far gone to return. He may never be a chosen again.
He turned to the group, eyes steady.
But he would be a powerful ally. One who knows the enemy. One who remembers the darkness. He could help us turn the tide.
Caleb exhaled, steam hissing from his breath, his icy blade resting on his shoulder.
Then what's the plan?
You hit him, Koga said flatly. All of you, together, like you did before. Break through the darkness surrounding his soul. Disrupt the void's grip. He's not just a monster. He's a prison. You've got to break him free.
Yunhai nodded. One shot. One unified strike.
Francis grinned darkly. Well, let's not keep the corrupted juggernaut waiting.
Rudra raised her staff, the hourglass at her side still cracked from the last use. This is it. We either save him, or he falls forever.
Audra placed her stone-gloved hand on the ground, forming a rising platform beneath the group.
Then let's remind him who we are.
The seven chosen leapt into action, their spirits roaring beside them like avatars of judgment. Izashi summoned Kirin, lightning bursting from the heavens. Caleb raised Ymir's breath, frost surging from the blade. Terence called on his, fire and beast uniting them in his swing. Francis once more forged his dark night, doubling his power. Will guided the sky as golden blades of light encircled them all. Yunhei and Rudra formed a magical current of wind, sand, and time to guide the strike. Audra reinforced them with a foundation of earth and stone.
Now, Izashi roared.
A single world-shaking strike launched through the battlefield. Thunder, ice, flame, shadow, light, wind, and earth colliding into Ragnar's chest like the wrath of creation itself. The explosion tore through the void energy, wrapping his body. Ragnar staggered back, his form cracking, void matter spilling like ink. His scream was both agonized and human. The blackened sky flickered. His eyes widened, and for just a moment, just one fleeting heartbeat, his eyes turned blue again. Then he fell to his knees. His corrupted armor shattered, piece by piece. The monstrous aura faded. The dark energy howled as it was ripped from his soul like smoke exorcised from a flame. He looked up at them, broken and exhausted. "You brought me back." Ragnar's voice trembled. No longer the booming voice of a monster, but the strained voice of a man who had just remembered who he was. Caleb walked forward slowly, sword still drawn, but lowered.
Welcome back, hero.
Ragnar looked down at his hands.
I remember it all. The pain, the void, what I did.
You'll make it right, said Audra. Starting now.
But I no longer have Logar.
Lancelot stepped forward.
Then you'll stand beside us, not as a chosen, but as a warrior with purpose. And if Antares thinks he can still win, he's sorely mistaken.
The seven stood in a circle around Ragnar. The dark had been pushed back, and for the first time in what felt like eternity, there was a future, a bright one.